If you're a wedding or event designer and AI still feels overwhelming, you might have tried it, maybe you loved it, maybe you hated it, but I would bet it probably didn't give you what you were looking for on the first tries or maybe first 20 tries. That's okay, you are in the right place now. I have created over 94,000 images in MidJourney alone, including some super popular ones that you have probably seen on Pinterest. I figured out what works, what doesn't, and I'm here to share with you so you don't have to waste the insane amount of time that I did trying to learn. I'm Alessandra, and I help event pros master AI so that they can design stunning weddings, parties, and events without wasting time and still wowing their clients. If you've ever wondered how to get the perfect shot in your AI images, today is the day. And you're probably thinking, oh, Sandra, what are you talking about? Aren't all of the shots great in AI? Well, yeah, a lot of them are great, but we're going to show you how to get ones that have higher impact and get that experience across to your clients so they understand the vibe of what you're going for. In past episodes, we've covered a lot of different content, and if you're new here, this is just one video in a multi-part series that is kind of like a crash course in using MidJourney for events and wedding designs. Every episode, we're learning a new AI skill and tackling a different part of the event design process. I want you to pull up your favorite LLM of choice. It could be ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. There are so many free ones available. There's really no limit to what you could use. Or you could just go to old-fashioned Google, but why use that when you can use AI to help your other AI make amazing images for you? So I want you to pull up your ChatGPT, whatever, and I want you to ask it about perspective angles for photography. Basic angles for photography, anything like that. Ask it for a list of angles to choose from, because what's going to happen there is it's going to give you a long list, probably 10-15 options with things like different phrases that are well known. So look at how much things change when we go from what we started with, a party venue with round tables and a dance floor, simple. But then we go to something like a wide angle view. Look at how large this is. It's zoomed out in the room. You're seeing a lot more. But then we can just as easily shift to a bird's eye view, which is going to be from the top looking down, to a low angle view. I mean, way different renderings, right? Huge, it makes a big difference. Now, I would go so far as to say that as a maybe event designer, wedding designer, you're going to want to live somewhere in the wide angle view, because you're not going to be able to use the seating exactly the layout of the room that you want. So the wide angle or the bird's eye view might not be the most helpful, but a wide angle view, if you knew the vibe that you were going for, let's just say you knew that you wanted to make the room, like maybe this is let's just go with a black and gold theme, right? Like that's a classic theme, birthdays, holidays, New Year's, put black and gold in. And you're probably wondering, well, Alessandra, what are we going to do with this? This is what's going to help get some of the ambiance across to your clients to get the vision of what you're going for. Look at, we just added black and gold. We already have crazy great options. We're not even telling it what type of venue. So let's run it again. We'll just say, hotel, ballroom, venue, or no, let's do industrial. Well, you know what? No, we won't even tell it the venue. Let's just do room wrapped in black drapery from the ceiling, because maybe we want a room wrap, right? Like maybe we want to try something like that. You can go crazy detailed with these things by slowly building up your prompts. And I hope you're seeing while we're doing this in real time what we've built up over the last few episodes. We're starting with simple prompts. We're going in, adding more context slowly, more detail. We're messing with things like the aspect ratio. Now we're changing the perspective on here. I mean, look at that. I think I see my mistake. I mentioned ceiling, which it thought we were draping from the ceiling, which I guess we could. I was thinking drapery around the walls. I should have been more specific. Around the walls, there we go. But That's why we learn. That's why we change one thing at a time so we can see what we're doing here. Now, this ceiling drapery is off. I mean, maybe not exactly the vibe we want, but ceiling drapery in general is huge for 2025. I will say MidJourney, hit or miss on that. You're going to need to play the numbers game where you're going to keep running it a lot. Interesting. Loving how this is turning out. Some drapery around the rooms. That's okay. Now, one more test I want to show you guys with this is we are going to bump this up on our style value. So style 250. Because remember, style, adding the style to it can make it potentially more pretty. Could make it a little less pretty. Depending on what type of prompt you're running and all of that. So we're going to let those run. Look at this is an interesting, well, we could fix that in post, but I love that it's got Chiavari chairs. We've got black drapery in here. This is great. I think this one might be my favorite so far with the chandeliers. We don't have a ton of gold. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so the first one with style 250. I mean, look at this. This is already coming out incredible. We got drapery on the walls, maybe not completely covered, but we got a beautiful venue, wide angle view. I mean, this is a heck of, like, how cool would this be? Especially if you knew what type of venue you were going, you were proposing doing an event in, you could put something in that matched it, or maybe use that image as a reference. It's a whole different thing. This is a much more elevated look here with the gold framing and everything. Beautiful. Love this. This is great. These are coming out really good. Now we're bumping up to style 250 or 500 here. That's why these are coming out. Woo! Beautiful. Look at the Chiavari chairs are already there for you. All right, we looked at those. This one's got, oh, this is almost like a tent almost looking thing. That's cool. And then we got style 1000, which is the max. Wow. Okay, this is nice. This is, I mean, we got a whole lot of options to choose from. All right, so we ran it again. We have our wide angle view, stylized 250. I mean, we've got some great shots, but I think this is probably my favorite. I think this looks very classy, very elegant. I think this is a great look. Now, when we switch it to bird's eye view, you can tell it's been a big shift. Look at this, completely different vibe of what you're looking at. And so I think when you're putting proposals together, you could have that. You could have, this is the low angle view. I don't think that that's the best shot, but we're just trying to understand perspective in this episode here. Just to emphasize a little bit more how this can be so impactful regardless of your location. I'm using wide angle view because I think that is probably the most visually helpful from a pitching and brainstorming point of view. But here we have a extra wide, so an aspect ratio of 16:9. So pretty wide, pretty much as wide as you can generally go. You can go a little bit wider in MidJourney, but this is one of the aspect ratios that really does well. So we put wide angle view of a country club wedding reception and left round tables, dance floor, and I put white and gold because that's kind of a classic. But you can see we got some beautiful visuals. I did just to hotel ballroom with a stylized of 250. It came out okay, but there's so many different types of ballrooms. I think we have to be a little bit more specific. But when we go back to something like a banquet hall wedding reception, again, keeping that wide aspect ratio, this looks great, especially if you're just trying to get some ideas going. And then even doing something outdoors like a tent, like a tented event, very popular for spring and summer. But you could even take this in a parameter that doesn't have traditional walls, where we're in this instance doing a rooftop terrace wedding. I mean, that's super great. It's able to capture the area. Now, sure, it's not perfect. We'd have to run it a few times or maybe go pop into the editor to get everything exactly how we want it. But I mean, these are great ways to show your clients, especially when you have a room in mind that you could reference, which we can go into detail in the future. I think this is a great place to get started just to help understand the vibe that you're going for. I think when you get into things like, let's see here, let's go back to the tented event. So I switched this, we took out the wedding part for the white and gold, and we said wide angle view garden tent wedding reception with round tables, dance floor, jungle themed party at night, party lighting. I mean, this is pretty awesome. This doesn't have to be used for just weddings. I mean, this, especially if you had like a private lawn or an estate you could go to, do an outdoor function, like stuff like this would be really great to get the ideas going. You could see where you're going to need some gobo, some textures. And I'm sure not everything is perfect, but to get the vibe across, like this is a great one. And here I took out the word wedding altogether just to see, and we've got some textures on the floor. This is a little bit more of a fisheye view, but I love that it put in like cabanas over some of the tables. Like this is really, really great. And so imagine if you refine this with some more particulars from your specific event theme, some colors. Like this is a really great way to get the idea across of the general vibe you're going for, especially for unique themed events. This could be a great way to inspire your clients. I learned about perspective today, and I hope this gives you some ideas for how to render some inspiration that might change the perspective of your clients and help them see the vision that you have in your mind. I'm sure it's wonderful. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future lessons.